Okay, so All Stars history, right? There's some things that need to be said, so I'm gonna try to explain it. And this is from my point of view. I don't remember things super well if I don't have to use the information a lot, so I might have some not super great details. Um, and yeah, I'm also like saying all of this without like meeting and talking with Lapis and Jolly and stuff, like about what to say and stuff like that. So I'm kind of just doing like saying whatever, and I'm gonna check in with them with this video to make sure that like they are okay with it or whatever. And if we need to make adjustments, we can, and so on. But yeah. So All Stars, right? So we gotta go back to OS2. In the end of that, or like near the end of that. So Jolly and I are like, okay, imagine if we did off season, right? But we had like all the tracks like brand new, right? No one's seen this before because like off season two, people like, oh my god, wow, Cyber World 2 is a finale. Who would have seen that coming? That's so boring. Oh my god, it's so predictable, right? And it's like, god dang it, just what if you just made it all new tracks and like never seen before and they're good and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. He said, let's do it. And that's not even tell Craftyz. It's like there's this okay, so it was a different time period. Um, I think we were different people back then. Um, like myself, Jolly, Craftyz, and Alesandro were different people back then. Um, like in all season, the off season staff, like we were going through a phase of like not liking Alessandro. Like I don't remember what was going on, but like yeah, we didn't really like him that much. Um, and how like Jolly and I were like not the biggest fans of Craftyz either. I don't remember why. It might have been like the choices he made or whatever. I don't know, man. But like it was like if it comes down to it, hell, John and I were like, yeah, we'll just do it ourselves. We'll just run off season ourselves. So like we didn't tell Craftyz because one, we thought it'd be cool to like surprise it on him if we were to do it with him, or and two, if we didn't do it with him, then we can uh whatever run ourselves. And yeah, that I think that's what happened. Regardless, we started making tracks. All right, Jolly and I. So it was like, all right, I'll make 3 tracks. Jolly, you can make 3 tracks, and we'll work together on the last one. Right. So I had my 3 tracks of fourth layer, or sorry, Cosmic Ocean, fourth layer, and Cyberworld 3. Right. And he had like his ideas for his 3 tracks. And I actually like knew that I was gonna take forever on my tracks, and like I was like, okay, I had like 6, 7, 8 months. I'm gonna get started immediately and work really hard, and spend like a whole like 2/3 a year, almost a year, on these tracks, right? And I did, and bro, I spent like 300 hours accumulative, or like more than 300 hours on these tracks, like overall. Um, and that's not even like that's just on those 3 tracks. That's not even like ROC Dino and stuff. Like just organizing All Stars all together. But yeah, so I knew like, and I worked really hard, and like I was on pace and I did well. Jolly was not so much the case. He ended up only really doing like he tried making tracks, and I did help tests and stuff, but like a lot of it didn't get through, like didn't get to like the point of being decoration. The only one that he went through with, like that we like completed, was Tricky Mall. Um, see, there was Speed 52, but that was something else, I think. Um, yeah, so John and I are working the tracks, right? A few months go by. I think like 2 or something. It's like Crafty's birthday or something, right? All right, Crafty's. We got something to show you. He like tall. He's like, yeah, okay, sure. And then you show him the tracks, right? So like he sees the tracks, and I think at this point, like I have my 3 layouts kind of like done or something like that, or at least 2 of them. Like Cosmic Ocean and Several 3. I think something like probably. Um, yeah, so he checks them out. And he's like, yeah, okay, cool. So we're doing this off-season thing, right? Shit, I forgot. Okay, so okay, backtrack a little bit. I think before that, right? Because we didn't just say Crafty's let's do off-season, right? Or like let's do off-season, here are the tracks. I think like we did meet, like Jolly and I did like talk to Crafty's, and like we were like, okay, let's do off-season. But the thing is, at the time, and still currently at least, Alessandro does not want to do off-season 3. Um, because I mean he has his own reasons. Like it would diminish like the I don't want to like make it sound bad, but like it like diminish the how people think of off season. Like they're gonna like dislike it more. And I think that's fair. Like the legacy, I think that's the word I want. Like the legacy of all season movie, like go down, and it gets a lot of work and for what and stuff. And I understand his points. At the time, I also understood the points, but I was a little more like I still want to do it. So the thing is, like, Craftyz and Alesandro like talked a lot, of course, right? They worked together a lot. So they talked, and in one of those talks, I guess Craftyz thought he understood from Alesandro that Alesandro was okay with OS3 happening. He was like, Craftyz was like, okay, yeah, so you're okay with OS3 happening? Alesandro apparently said yes, and then he was like, all right, and then I guess he told me and Jolly or something, I don't know, and then we started working on it, or like, not started working on it, but like, it was a thing. We're doing OS3, okay. Turns out it was a miscommunication, right? Apparently, according to Alessandro, he never said that it was okay. He would never say it was okay, because he'd be saying for months he made a whole freaking video about why he wasn't going to do OS3, and then that would happen. And like, so now we're in this situation where we have like multiple months of work, right? I've spent probably, I don't know, like 80 hours. I've had these tracks that are like decorated. Some of them, like one of them was like 90%. I think Cosmic Ocean was like 90% decorated, right? And like the others like started, right? And stuff like that. Like we have work done, and it's like, okay, so we're now in this awkward state where it's like we have a lot of work done, foundations laid, but there's a miscommunication, and now what? Because Alessandro doesn't want to do it. So, shit. Bro, this is my second take, but I did better in the first one, in terms of like structure or like a timeline. So at some point, so Craftyz wanted to make this offseason like kind of like a rebuilding kind of thing, because people didn't like OS2 that much. There were a lot of complaints. I think that might have just been the community changing. People were like, this isn't as good as OS1 or whatever, and so on. So, wow, people complaining. Who isn't that coming? Wow, that's crazy. Who would have thought? Anyways, so yeah, he's like, yeah, I want to kind of like make this like a recovery period and like make people see it better and stuff, or have people see it better and stuff. So like we can do these like fun events, right? I think fun events would be really good. So you can have all sorts of people come in, like have fun, so it isn't just a grind fest and stuff like that. So it's like we could bring like Lapis does. He said he wanted to do like fun events, right? And that he'd be willing to like do them, right? And he can still compete in OS3 and stuff as a driver and stuff. We won't like share any of the competitive stuff with him, like the track list or whatever. But like, we can still have him like help with the fun events and have him run that. It's like, sure, let's bring him on the team. Okay, so it's now Craftyz, Laser, Jolly, and Lapis. Awesome. That was before we realized there was a miscommunication with Alesandro, right? So now we're talking with Alesandro and like, okay, yeah. Actually, we might have recruited Lapis before or after the miscommunication was revealed. Regardless. So like, okay, so now we're in a weird spot. We have two co-founders, Craftyz and Alesandro. One of them doesn't want to do it, Alesandro. One of them does want to do it, Craftyz. And we had 2 or 3 other people, which is me, Jolly, and maybe Lapis. If I don't remember the timeline. He might have been there or might not have been there. Regardless, Jolly and I wanted to do it, wanted to keep going with it. So we kind of just like, okay, I guess we're just going to keep working on it, even though Alesandro doesn't want to, right? So, it was heated because, if you do think about it, if you spend a lot of time, like, making a league, and you really like it, because I think Alesandro really like Off-Season 1, and, like, you cherish it, but then, like, you want to retire it, but then other people just take it up and continue under the same name and stuff. That is kind of fucked up. You wanted to, like, bro, that's your thing, and you wanted that rest, and that's fair. I'm not saying that I or we were really founded on what we did, and I look back and I'm like, oh, I don't like what I chose back then, but that's just how it happens, right? And I'm just trying to retell that. So yeah, so we decided to keep going, but then something like a couple months go by, and this is like, because we talk a little more with Alesandro, right? Like, about why he doesn't want to and whatever. And like we kind of like myself, Jolly, Lapis kind of decided like we don't really want to do it anymore. Like we don't want to like go against this guy, because we don't like that we would be doing so. And it's a hard decision, right? Because I did explain Alessandro's point of view, but like also people want off season. You know, like we have like so many people who want it, who like it, who are like people who join after OS2 who are like, oh man, this off season thing is really cool. Like the videos I wish I could be in one, right? So now we have that, and it's like it's a hard decision, but like we decided, okay, fine, let's not do off season. And Craftyz actually took it pretty well. Like we got in VC with him, and we are like, okay, sorry Craftyz, we do not want to keep going with off season. Like we can do something else, but not off season. Like we don't want to like hurt all his other feelings and go against him and stuff. And he actually took it pretty well. He's like, okay, yeah, sure. Let's pivot and let's do something else or whatever, right? And I was surprised. But that's besides the point. So Lapis is all like, okay, so I actually have this thing written out, like, and it's kind of long, but it's this thing called All Stars, right? And so it works a little bit differently, and he explains it. It's elimination over time and stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure. I'm okay with that. And Craftyz is like, yeah, sure, I'm okay with that, and and so on. And we're doing All Stars now, right? And if you do think about it, All Stars and off season are pretty different. Like you have a qualifying, and then like 18 people in teams of 3 for off season, like 7 races and videos and stuff, and that's off season. That's right. And then they have All Stars, and that's like elimination over time and stuff. And they are pretty different things. Like they're only really similar in prestige, and like we promised to make a video or videos. So we go with that, and thankfully Alessandro clearly hasn't been dismayed. Not dismayed. He was fine, I guess. Like he ended up being fine with All Stars. So that's good. that's pretty good because it is different, right? So that's good. Okay, so we got myself, Craftyz, Lapis, and Jolly working on All Stars. Wow, on All Stars. What happens next? Okay. So Craftyz has seen the tracks, right? He's seen, I think, my 3 tracks. He's maybe seen Cookie Mole. Okay. I'm gonna pause. Hold on. Hold. Yeah. Okay. So we're organizing stuff. We're planning because there's a lot of planning that goes into like making these, especially like this caliber. He was gonna stream, right? We all look at Craftyz. He's good at streaming. He's like, yeah, I can do it. Well, this is like months prior to this point, right? A few months after we decided to pivot to All Stars, Craftyz is all like, he comes up to us and he's like, okay, so the thing is, yeah, see, you're asking me about the tracks and stuff, but the thing is, I actually don't think I should stream, right? It's like, oh, why not? The thing is, like, he is a really, really, really busy guy. I think the other day I was like talking with him, and he said, yeah, I have like 3 internships, and I'm also doing school, and like the dude is doing so much. Like actually though, and for him to work 8 hours on editing and then come back and then like have to stream or to edit videos, right? That's just not good. That's just a grind, and that's just terrible. And he doesn't have the energy and stuff like that, and that's totally fair. So it's like, I can't stream. I think I should probably just like let you guys take care of the whole All Stars thing, and I'll just like I think I should compete instead. I don't want to compete, right? It's like, okay, sure, yeah, we can do that, and then it'll just be Jolly, Lapis, and I. Sure, let's do that. So yeah, Craftyz drops out of the team, kind of. So he's actually still there. He helped us a lot with editing and giving his thoughts on videos. For instance, like he helped a lot with the first like initial trailer of All Stars, and he also really helped Lapis with getting used to video editing and stuff like that. So that he was really, really good in that department. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. So he drops out. So now it's like, okay, who streams? We go with Lapis because he's like, Jolly and I cast him as the main guy because it was his idea, right? Like All Stars. So like, yeah, sure. It'll only be right if he streamed. So yeah, that's what we went with. And then, of course, we got some other people to help with building, like Budo and Ega. You got Nopi to help with the leaderboard and stuff, and you got Mark. Going back to Craftyz, though, I forgot. So yes, Craftyz was a competitor, even though he knew the tracks. Like, the thing is, he saw the tracks, like, many months in advance, and didn't even drive on them that much. Like, we had this, like, private server that it was like Jolly's private server, and like he was like, yeah, join, and like I just made myself at home, and then it is now the All Stars development server, or not development, like a track building server, right? And like we moved him from the whitelist like right after like he said like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna dip out. So we moved him then. And that was like months in advance before All Stars. So like he had maybe like a couple hours cumulative on all the tracks. He did actually help me specifically with Northern Water Tribe, and one of the reasons why we want to make this video, the one you're watching right now, is because I did record the entire process of building Northern Water Tribe, from like Thanks Fate to finishing decor, like all of it, like 87 videos and like countless hours of content. Those are out there, and we don't want to release them, but some of them do involve like talk about the backstory of All Stars, and Craftyz's involvement. Like one of the videos is really just me and Craftyz actually dabbing out Northern Water Tribe, and yeah, I don't remember how long the video is, but it's probably like an hour, at maybe 2 at most. But like the thing is, he didn't actually spend that much time on the tracks. Like we showed them, because the thing is, when you work so hard on tracks, like you want to show people. And I was dying for like months because I want to show people these tracks. Like I remember getting to finally show Lapis tracks because we finally made a decision that okay, Lapis is not going to compete. He's actually just gonna like, because even after Craftyz left, there was still a question of is that Lapis going to compete, right? And even is McCusen gonna compete? And then they both decided not to, and they're like, oh, we get to show them the tracks now, right? Where was I going with this? But yeah, so like, we want to show the freaking tracks. Like we work so hard, like we think they're awesome, so we want to show the tracks. So we showed Craftyz's tracks, and like that's kind of like it, to my knowledge. I don't think he spent any more time on like the tracks on the server. So, and the funny thing is, right, of all the events in All Stars, what do you think Craftyz would get the most mileage out of from knowing the tracks ahead of time? It's the blind race, right? Cosmic Ocean blind race. He tanked that race. He did terribly. I was praying on his downfall for that race. I was like, I really hope he doesn't win this race. I really hope he does terribly. Remember, he just came off a Northern Water Drive win, right? I really hope he doesn't do well. He tanked. And that was super. I was so happy. Craftyz, I like the guy. I'm so glad he did terribly in that race. It's like, it makes this part a lot easier. Cause yeah, like he just doesn't like, dude. It was months in advance. And he even like could have known the gimmicks, and like, for instance, Cosmic Ocean. I think I'd probably explained the Boattap thing to him, but yeah, clearly it didn't really help. Yeah. So yes, he did know about the tracks well ahead of time, but like, did he know much? And like, was it really an advantage or anything? No. And like, we did actually talk with Craftyz, and we're like, okay, so like we'll have you like practice this. We'll gauge, because we didn't know how serious people were gonna take All Stars. So we're like, okay, if people take it really seriously, we'll like give you like one less day of practice or whatever, right? And he's like, yeah, sure. And so yeah, we made that decision to do that. I don't think we actually did it, but especially because like the top people didn't seem to be trying that hard, or we might have just forgotten about it, to be honest. But yeah, it all turned out okay. Craftyz did not win All Stars. That's if he won, I don't even know if he'd be making this video. But yeah. So Craftyz competed. We went on both servers. I could talk about a little bit about the tracks, right? So yeah, I was talking about how I had my 3 tracks of Cosmic Ocean, 4th Layer, and Cyberworld 3. So Craftyz didn't want to do a Cyberworld 3 because he already has 2 Cyberworld videos on his channel. I think that is kind of fair. Like, you know, like, why would you want 3 of like very similar track themes? Sure, whatever. I was bummed. Okay, fine, let's figure it out. So there's this Avatar like live action movie coming out like early 2024, and we wanted to like be on like the trends, right? Be like, oh yeah, so like we release a video, like the OS video, right when like the live action thing is like as like peak hype, and then, you know, we get on that bandwagon, you know, we get views. Sure, let's do Avatar, I guess. You know, this is after like a couple hours of like trying to brainstorm. It was not fun. It was like, I don't know, I don't care about Avatar. I don't care about whatever this other movie coming out, but well, I don't care. So yeah, I watched all of Avatar. I made the track, sure. 4th Layer. So the thing is, like LC track, right? the traffic Craftyz and I worked on for OS2. I wanted that to be fourth layer, right? He wanted it to be decorated as like a Xenoblade thing. And the pictures he showed me were cool, but I just didn't really care to do it. And I also might have not liked the track too much. Like it was like an okay track, but like whatever. So he didn't care to decorate it. I didn't really care to decorate it, so that's how it became not decorated. So I wanted to do fourth layer before then and since then, and then I finally got to do it. And like the thing is, he was like, "No, I don't want to do that for off season. Like no one's gonna get the reference. It's gonna like, but like it's like okay, I guess no fourth layer." And the thing is, it took me so long to figure out a different decoration theme for fourth layer that he actually left the team before I did. So I was like, "Oh, I get to do fourth layer now. Let's go!" And I was so happy. But yeah, so that's how those tracks came to be. Yeah, so no Water Tribe. It was meant to be Cyberworld 2, yes. But we didn't go through with that. Because like, in my head, it was like Cyberworld 2, or Cyberworld 3. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to like do Cyberworld 2, but it's going to be like even better. The split routes going to be shorter, because someone complained, I think Conspiracy complained about how long they were. Like, sure, whatever. And I'm also going to add a shortcut. So it's like pawn skip, but without the ping advantage, so it's gonna be like super good. So Cyberworld gimmick and shortcut, like one word shortcut. That's an S tier track right there. I'm gonna do that, and then it became another Water Tribe. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, and then I'm likely gonna send this to like Lapis, Jolly, and Craftyz. So again, like I kind of just went ahead and did this on my own. Like we knew that we were gonna have to make the video. Like Jolly and Lapis and I knew that we were gonna have to like make this video, like I explained earlier. But yeah, like, we didn't like make a script or anything, so I'm gonna have to send them this video. And if I forget anything or miss anything or whatever, I'll either write it in the description or write it in the comment, or even maybe make a second video so I can talk about it more or whatever. I/we if they want to VC about it, which would be fun. I think that's it. Let me think again. Yeah, I think that's it. Alright. Thanks for watching. Have a good bye.